David and Laura, nice to meet you both.
Hi, nice to meet you.
David, you guys wrapped on this a while ago. You've got season 2 already in the can. How does it feel to actually go back to the very beginning and hand this over to the world?
I have completely forgotten anything that we shot. So if you ask me any question, I would just say I have no idea.
Laura, what about you?
Go
on, I'd say because I just had to do a lot of research for the character, and when I did my very first self-tape for the show, it was like months and months and months before the whole filming process even started. I instantly fell in love with the character, and I still love her to this day. So it's not a big challenge to go through all of it again, go back to the beginning, because it's still there. There's so much love for this character. It's all still there. It truly is.
David, what's it like for you when you know how big this production's going to be, but then you turn onto set here in Ireland and you turn up and have to film one of those massive scenes? What does that feel like for you, not as an actor, just as a kid who's living out their dream?
I think a lot of the choices that I've made in my career have been about hiding in historical worlds. A lot of my childhood was spent studying history or being taken around National Trust properties or dressing up in castles just for the sheer heck of it. So yeah, no, it's great. The joy is you can immerse yourself fully on horseback, eating the weird food and just basically being uncomfortable all the time. And the great thing about filming in Ireland is you get used to how cold it probably was in the Middle Ages. No, it's great. Like what was particularly good about this show as compared to others was because the original Vikings show had been going for 7 years or so. Everyone was so ready to get going. Everything was off the ground running. Kattegat already existed, but had been extended and made taller and wider. Like there are whole lagoons full of Viking longships. And I think personally, and I shouldn't really say this, the one regret I have is that I'm a Saxon on this show, because you see a Viking longboat down in the lake and you just go, I've got to get on a Viking longship. Otherwise, what's the point in being in a show about Vikings? So if Jeb's listening to this, then he needs to get writing season 3 and give Godwin his own boat.
But Laura, it wasn't just all about the working while you're here in Ireland. I was on Caroline's Instagram and I saw a gorgeous photo of yourself, Caroline and Freydis, and you were out at Mount Juliet. Tell me about times where you got to step away from the set and you got to enjoy some of the pleasures of Ireland.
Yeah, because like most of like the museums and the theaters and bars and restaurants were closed. So the only way to actually experience Ireland, apart from being on set with all the Irish people, was to rent a car and do a little road trip. And that's what we did. And we explored the beautiful nature, went to beaches and mountains and on long walks. And it was just beautiful. Such a beautiful country.
Do you have a favorite Irish memory, David?
It's the countryside. I mean, I walked the entirety of the Wicklow Way whilst I was there. I was living in Mount Usher Botanical Gardens for the duration of season 1 shoot.
You walked it?
Yeah.
Impressed.
Yeah, quite a lot of the reasons I take a job is the location of where they're shooting, because you're going to need something to do in your downtime. And I mean, as I said, I was living down in County Wicklow, so there's not many more beautiful places you can live with great opportunities to either go down the beach and go surfing or head up a mountain and go mountain walking. It was glorious.
But it can be tough as well. Like Laura, some of those scenes, are tough. They can go on for ages. How would you feel at the end of a working day?
I mean, I would say, I think David can agree, like we're used to long working days, and sometimes like this, we are kind of trapped in a dark castle. Sometimes we're outside in the rain all day. You get used to it, not just because it's necessary, but because it's also fun.
Yeah.
You get the chance to experience something like this. And sometimes it can be stressful, but like 99% of the time you enjoy it. So yeah. And then of course, sometimes you're exhausted, depends on the day. Sometimes sitting around and waiting these days, there are days where you just, sit in your chair and you wait for hours and hours and hours. And these days can be very, very exhausting. But in the end, it's so much fun.
Well, hopefully we'll have you back here in Ireland soon. David and Laura, lovely to meet you both.
Nice to meet you too, Sabrina. Lovely.